What's going on? Welcome back to my YouTube channel. Gen X Army Vet here with another video coming from YouTube. Here in Seattle, developing news right now is that a 13-year-old boy has been, pretty much apprehended for preparing for a school shooting. So without further ado, let's get into it.
Developing now, a 13-year-old boy accused of having mass shooting iterations pled not guilty in court today. Only Como was there as the young teenager faced a judge. He was arrested Saturday night at his home in Pierce County after police say tipsters reported concerning social media posts the boy allegedly made. The sheriff's office says they confiscated dozens of weapons, including loaded magazines with school shooting writing.
God damn! How the hell did he get that many freaking weapons? One has to think. I've always said this about incidents dealing with guns. It's not a gun problem. It's a people problem. Because think about all the guns that are here in the States. How many people have those guns that abide in the law? They follow the law. And they haven't done nothing crazy with them. Because it's not a gun issue. There are certain individuals within that community, the gun owner community, that do dumb shit. It's not the gun issue. It's a people issue. You know, whether it's the parent not properly securing their weapons or letting their kids have weapons, or the children know how to get access to the weapon. That's the issue. It's not the gun's problem. It's a tool. It sits there. It's an inanimate object. You can't do nothing unless there's human contact.
Como's Michelle Esteban was in court and just spoke to the teen's parents. Michelle?
Yeah, I can tell you that his mother was in court, his father outside of court. I spoke to both
They
of
should
them
be.
briefly off camera. His mother and father just beside themselves. They insist that this is all blown out of proportion. They say that their son was just trying to be cool and edgy with some of his social media posts, that he's a good kid, and that they believe that he had no intention of hurting anyone. But
how can you be cool and edgy? Okay, you could do that in other ways. Like, yeah, my parents have a lot of guns. It's cool. Check it out. You know, just showing pictures of the guns of the parent with the parents' permission, of course. You can't just start showing a whole bunch of guns to kids at school. They're going to take that. Of course, they'll blow it up a portion. You know, like, why do you need to let everybody know that you have this many guns? Because from this point on, those parents are always going to be monitored because of the actions of their kid.
court documents, they allege something very different. They said that the teen made statements and posted online indicating that he had a possible interest in committing a mass shooting. Now,
that changes
Como
things.
was in the courtroom. Take a look when that teen went before a judge. The 13-year-old said he understood the charges. He was quiet in court, kept his head down. He pleaded not guilty. We typically don't identify juveniles at this
Look at that, though. All these ARs. See, it's perfectly legal to own that many. There's no issue. It's just knowing who's in your household. I mean, if this kid of functioning age, he knows what it is, knows how to use it. You know, the parents teach him how to use it, but they also should teach the safety involved with weapons. And if they're not doing that, the implications or ramifications of, if you decide to do something stupid, this is what can happen. That probably wasn't being taught in the household. So that's why this kid's out there doing what he's doing.
Point in a proceeding, the judge asked us not to show his face
And
on camera.
handguns.
Judge Evans did find
Damn.
probable cause for 5 counts, including one for a threat to bomb or injure property. Most of the other charges were
All
for
the cans of
unlawful
ammo?
possession of a firearm. The teen was arrested Saturday around 1 in the morning after concerns that he was plotting a mass shooting, possibly at a school. Police and SWAT surrounded the family's Pierce County home, arrested the teen. They also confiscated a large amount of weapons. Handguns, long guns. Police say even a loaded magazine with school shooting writings on it.
See, yeah, that's not being blown out of proportion. If there's school shooting writings on the magazines, like classes or classmates, teachers' names, or whatever the situation is, that's not, I'm trying to be cool and edgy. That's what you were planning on doing. You just got caught. So now you're going to say anything and everything to try to avoid, accountability.
Court filings allege they confiscated evidence that shows the suspect idolized previous mass shooters, including those responsible for Columbine, and that his social media post indicated a possible interest, as I mentioned, in committing a mass shooting, which is why authorities thought initially a school might be targeted. Now they're saying it's really not clear what the intended target may have been, but they felt danger was imminent.
See, it's crazy because, if he didn't have the access that he had, i.e., if they were actually kept in a safe where only the mother and the father knew where the key was, the kid couldn't plan nothing like this. He could see whatever he wants, but if there's no access to it, he can't say that or can't do the things he has, because he has to take an alternate approach to if he's going to do something on that grand of a scale. Because you got to think about, again, there's so many people out there in the world or in America with access to guns. I have one right here, right now on my side. It's protection, but I don't go brandishing it off to other people or showing, yeah, I got this. You want to be anonymous. You don't need to know what I got. If the parents were teaching this kid right, they don't need to know. He didn't need to have to go out to tell people, yeah, I got guns, I got this, I got that. I'm going to do this because I want to get some type of attention, or I want to get some type of respect among other 13-year-olds in my class.
And the suspect's bedroom, loads of ammunition that was located, inscriptions around the room and on the walls.
Okay, that means the parents ain't even going in his kid's room then. If he had all this ammo loaded into his room, he's 13. He shouldn't have this in his room. Again, if the parents were keeping everything secured and out of reach of this child, it wouldn't have been the case. They wouldn't have found this stuff. But apparently it's in his room. Inscriptions and stuff on the walls throughout this room. That means the parents don't go in or do a check on their kid. Again, I've always said parents need to be active in their children's lives. They need to know what's going on. How's the kid doing? Who are your friends? You got a girlfriend? Stuff like that. What are your hobbies? What are your interests? When they're on the weekends, what are you doing with the child? If the child is actively engaged in other things that's, beneficial to his upbringing, stuff like this wouldn't happen.
Including just everything that would check a box for a mass shooting incident.
Now, it was a collection of social media posts and writings that got the attention of police after it got the attention of the community. There were a number of tips that went to the Pierce County Sheriff's Office. They got that Friday around 3 o'clock in the afternoon, and by 1 a.m. Saturday morning, this teen was in custody. But one of the things they say back out here live that really is pressing and was important in this case is that message that they constantly harp on, which is if you see something, say something. And Mary, they really believe that is what led to this arrest. The case far from over, but this teen remaining in detention tonight for at least 2 weeks when he'll be back here in court at Raymond Hall. Mary?
All right, pretty much that's the end of this story. But yeah, if the parents are more active in their lives, stuff like this wouldn't happen. Because you see all too often that the parents aren't doing nothing. The parents aren't involved. And then you have kids out doing stuff like this. You have kids out there breaking into cars, doing all kinds of crime. Same thing's going in Chicago. Children running around with Glocks with switches on it. Thinking that, I'm invincible because I got a gun. And that's their way of doing things. They don't know how to fight like they used to back in the day when I was growing up. It's all about gun first. Live by the gun, die by the gun. But yeah, gun education is a thing. It needs to be a thing, needs to be put out. People need to be more mindful, especially like this. This kid put stuff on social media. That's... Think about how everybody who got caught. They always put it on social media. People aren't bright at all. But again, like I say, it's a people issue, not a gun issue. But that's my thoughts. That's my opinion on it. Let me know your thoughts in the comment down below. Those who are in Washington, here in Seattle, if you come across this video, what are your thoughts on this? Should the kid be, thrown up under the jail, or should the parents take responsibility? I think it's both. The kid needs to know that he can't do shit like that, and the parents need to know how irresponsible they are as parents that allow their children to have, their kid to have access to this type of firepower. Because that was an arsenal. 20-something guns. I don't know. But like, share, subscribe to the notification bell. It'll help me out greatly. with the algorithm and with this Facebook career, YouTube career I'm trying to do. So yeah, like, share, subscribe, hit the notification bell, and catch you next video. Peace.